Image de CAP, décollage.
We send a lot of stuff into space.
3, 2, 1.
Decades of satellites and rockets, and now with commercial operators in the mix, there's a lot of stuff whizzing around the Earth at astonishing speeds. In the skies above me in Tokyo, there's some 3,000 pieces of space junk being monitored right now. Across the world, 27,000. Some of it large, like old satellites, others much smaller, like the size of a baseball. Then there's more than 100 million pieces of junk that we can't see, like a millimetre in size, or this piece of rice.
Debris that's larger than 10 centimetres is catastrophic when it hits a satellite. It would create massive amounts of debris. Then there are items between 1 and 10 centimetres. This could end the mission of a satellite if it hits. There's close to 1 million pieces like this.
With space becoming less spacious, there's a real need to clean up the area or risk a catastrophic collision. That's where Japan-based Astroscale comes in.
The satellites that are up there, we're using them to talk to family, to check on bank accounts, to get directions, to understand the weather. Everything we do every day, we're relying on satellites that are in space. The more accidents that happen, the more debris that's created, the more potential for additional accidents, and before we know it, we've got Saturn's rings of debris around our Earth.
It's competing to become the first commercial space debris removing operation. This spacecraft will soon be launched from New Zealand, where it'll hopefully shadow part of an old Japanese rocket. Later tests will show their spacecraft could grab a dead piece of equipment and drag it to Earth, where it would harmlessly burn up upon re-entry.
Finding that failed object in space, getting close enough that you can understand the rotation rate, and capturing it, and then bringing it down out of the way. Each one of those issues is a specific technical problem that we're working on solving.
But space is a lawless realm, and one spacecraft approaching another isn't always a welcome move. In January last year, a Chinese satellite grabbed one of their own dead satellites and flung it further out into space where it wouldn't be a problem. Surely a reason to celebrate? Well, some viewed it with suspicion. Could China use this technology to disable enemy satellites? The war in Ukraine has shown just how important satellites are, flying drones, firing rockets, or manoeuvring big military hardware.
Looking at the conflicts of the 21st century, the use of space is directly linked to military superiority on Earth.
Capturing a satellite isn't the only way to disable it. China and Russia have also blasted their own dead equipment with anti-satellite missiles. Both made a sharp spike in space debris.
Especially since the mid-2010s, the US has been concerned about space becoming a warfighting domain. It's concerned that the battles that have been fought on Earth could spill over into space. Japan now shares this perception.
To meet the challenge, Japan's military is scaling up its so-called Space Operations Group. Here, the skies are monitored around the clock, watching for dangerous debris and suspicious activity.
At the moment, there is no rule that says it's illegal to come within a certain distance. We can't say, what are you doing, so close, or move out of the way. So we only provide information to our operators. It's a new field and still undeveloped in the legal sense.
Next year, we will have the new system which detect the electric magnetic interference towards satellites. So we need to aware and we have to defend the stable use of space.
The group of 7 nations this year meeting in Japan called for the safe and sustainable use of space, but getting major competing powers on Earth to agree what goes on in space will prove a challenge. For now, the first movers will need to navigate the new frontier without a guidebook.
Really, any technology can be dual use. A pencil can be dual use. I can write with it, or I can stab someone with it. Anything is dual use. It's about intention. We're not only looking to solve the technical problem of space debris, we're working on solving the policy problem of space debris.